Nityanandam. May the Most High shine His light upon you, and may that light help you radiate with eternal bliss. I come in the spirit of universal truth, and I greet you all. I want to make another video about Dr. Sebi, the legend of Dr. Sebi. And this time, I spoke from the heart in another video, but this one I want to read. Because I want to make sure that there's hundreds of videos about Dr. Sebi. Some of them are being removed from YouTube. And you can learn a lot about Dr. Sebi on the internet. But we're in the age of censorship. We're in the age where people don't want the truth to come out. Parasitic elite, artificial parasites. They don't want the truth to come out. So they have a smear campaign against healers, doctors, herbalists, enlightened beings, people who are trying to bring about this inevitable revolution, this human revolution, where we will become great beings, greater than what we are now. And Dr. Sebi was one of those great beings before he transitioned in 2016, August 6, 2016. He's one of them great beings who was bringing about this human evolution, the inevitable evolution. So this is called the legend of Dr. Sebi. One of the greatest holistic healers of all time physically left the planet on August 6, 2016. This man is the Honorable Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was a modern-day pioneer in healing the human body by simply using what the Creator put here on this planet for humanity to consume: food. Not just any food, but natural vegetation cell food. Cell food is alkaline electric foods only Mother Nature created, and not hybridized foods man has engineered. Sebi resurrected an ancient philosophy that says, "Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food." The great Kemetic genius Imhotep said this long before Hippocrates. And with this simple philosophy, Dr. Sebi taught herbs coupled with the plant-based alkaline dietary regimen could cure you of anything Western medicine says is incurable. This regimen he called the African biomineral balance. With this regimen, he cured AIDS, cancer, sickle cell, leukemia, paralysis, blindness, diabetes, herpes, lupus, etc. Lisa Left Eye Lopez helped popularize Dr. Sebi, at least for the youth, people of my generation who were not around during the 80s and the 90s. It was her MTV documentary in the early 2000s that helped popularize Dr. Sebi. After being cured by Dr. Sebi, she vowed to make him popular on national television. Months later, she was killed in a mysterious car accident in Honduras. Dr. Sebi also cured Teddy Pendergrass, Cicely Tyson, Steven Seagal, Eddie Murphy's mother, Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson's son. Give thanks to Michael Jackson. There are far too many others to name here. In 1987, Attorney General Robert Abrams arrested Dr. Sebi for claiming he can cure AIDS, or he cured AIDS and was practicing medicine without a license. In his historical decision, he was found not guilty on 2 counts of practicing medicine without a license and curing AIDS. No other herbalist in America defeated the government legally. Just so you see how historic this was. Right there in New York, he pioneered what today is known as food gene consistency. African people must eat food which are consistent with their genetic constitution or makeup. We are biologically different, he said. Therefore, we can't eat the same food other races eat. This is scientifically proven, yet you don't know that because the parasitic elite don't want you to know. In the brilliant words of Dr. Sebi, he says, quote, "You don't give the gorilla the food of the polar bear. Then why does the FDA think they can give the African the food of the Caucasian?" End quote. Here's a man who the Supreme Court demanded he provided proof of curing people of AIDS and other pathologies he claimed to cure. And he not only provided documented evidence, but also brought 77 healed witnesses to court, further proving the credibility and greatness of his work. Genius. Dr. Sebi cured many people, and he helped me heal myself from the chronic stomach illness I had 7 years ago. I went to doctors for years, and they could not figure out what it was. Deep down, I knew they couldn't figure the root of the problem because I knew Western medication was a farce. I knew the modern medical church was nothing but a church ruled by belief systems, not science. But I still go to the hospital to please my mother, who was a nurse. I knew of Dr. Sebi since 2005. I knew of Dr. Sebi since 2005 via Lisa Left Eye Lopez's documentary, and I attempted to study his work, but I was not ready then. Years later, I continued my research and finally embarked on a journey that would change my life forever. After incorporating the science of Dr. Sebi by following his African biomineral balance regimen, I was able to heal myself. I've been following this ever since that time, and my life has changed for the better. And I was blessed, as I said in the other video, to meet Dr. Sebi in 2014. For the sake of this video, I won't go into that meeting. But I don't think we fully understand the greatness of this man who we had walking amongst us. I mean, he's the equivalent of some of the greatest minds in our time or in history. His name should be etched or shall be etched in stone next to the names of Cheikh Anta Diop, Theophile Obenga, George Washington Carver, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, many others. This is the magnitude of his work and his teachings. Dr. Sebi was ahead of his time only because we are in a time where truth is rejected and lies are accepted. I will forever love this messenger and the message he shared with the world. He dedicated his life to healing humanity, and historically, we know men like this are our greatest gifts. The African race failed to see who he was while he was alive because collectively we wait for the white man to tell us who our heroes are. Our inferiority complex on the continent and in the diaspora hindered us from receiving the message of one of the greatest treasures, of one of our greatest treasures, Dr. Sebi. His message was simple and plain. Follow the laws of Mother Nature and you will be healed. He specifically spoke to the conditions and suffering of the black race, bringing us the African bio-mineral balance. Sadly, the majority of us were not ready for his gift of salvation due to our incapacitated love for Western civilization and all her poisons. He brought us the answer to all the diseases we are subjected to today by telling us to return to our ancient ways, our African healing methods and lifestyle before we were invaded by Western and foreign cultures. Let us return to these ways of healing. Let us return to Mama. Let us follow Mama. This is what he taught. The greatest way we Africans can pay tribute to this man is not only speaking about his death and investigating the mysterious way this healthy herbalist suddenly died while in police custody, showing all the signs of a deliberate assassination. Maybe. However, we honor and pay the greatest tribute by creating classes about Dr. Sebi, the African biomineral balance. We honor him by seriously incorporating his teachings into our own life. Into our own life. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Huh? The disease condition of Africa will change overnight if we accept the work of Dr. Sebi as irrefutable truth. This can help save Africa from its demise. There is no other way. We can do it. We shall do it. His passing will not go in vain. Although he may not be here in flesh, he is indeed here in spirit, living through many of the people who learned from him. Dr. Sebi was not his body. The body is just a suit for the physical realm we are now in. And the spirit is his true self. The spirit was his true self, and the spirit is our true self. Dr. Sebi understood this. Sebi is the spirit that came here to teach us how to manage and heal this suit we call the body. And now he has left us to continue his journey elsewhere. Here's to a treasure who walked amongst us in this age, the biochemist, the scientist, the pathologist, the herbalist, the medicine man, the master teacher, and the revolutionary, the Honorable Dr. Sebi. Give thanks. Give thanks. Let's give thanks. Give thanks. I had to read that because something I wrote at the time when Dr. Sebi passed away, and I wanted to read it on this video. I wanted to read it. So, as always, ignorance is not bliss. Bliss is enlightenment. So radiate the eternal bliss of 1,000 suns. Eternally blissful.